How's it going, folks? This is Wayne R, back for another technique lesson today. So following on from our strumming series, something a little bit more difficult today if you've never done this before. We're looking at percussive strumming. It's used on a couple of songs that I've posted up in the past, but the one that's probably had the most hits is A Wonderful Life by Black. Absolutely beautiful song. And it sort of, it works really well on that song. So if you want to scroll down and check that lesson out. But without further ado, let's look at the strumming pattern. Okay, so when I talk about percussive strumming, we're talking about okay, so the whole idea of doing percussive strumming is it sort of replicates a snare drum, so you get this sort of, as if there's a sort of a drum playing along to your chords as well. So we're going to use the same chords as what we used on the other patterns, keeping it simple, which was an E, E major, an A major, and a D major, okay? So we're going to first of all take the E major. Okay, so what we're going to try and do is, so we're going to do a down, up, and then we do, I call it a chug, okay? So what we've got to try and do is this part of his palm, the fleshy part of the palm, we've got to place that covering all the strings, and it's going to be a split second, okay, before you hit the chord. So you get this. Now this takes a lot of practice. When I first learnt this, it took me a good while to get this, and you find you can do it every now and again, and you just got to keep doing it. And it is putting your hand, that fleshy part of the palm, on the strings, and it is a split second before we strike the chord. So obviously when you're playing the strings, all those strings should be muted. Okay, so we're just going to do the down, up, down, up. Okay, before we bring the other strumming in, that's all you want to practice, just doing the down, up, down, up. And you will probably get it at first where some of the strings are ringing out. You've got to make sure your hands, muting all those strings. So, okay, so once you've mastered that, we're going to come straight in with a down. So a down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, so this is just on the E chord at the moment. Okay, so once you've got that, then we can bring a chord change in. So let's do two measures on each chord. So we're going to go from an E to an A major chord. So it'd be okay, when you're happy with that, we can do two measures. We'll bring a D chord in as well. So and there we have it. Okay, so thanks very much for watching. I hope that's been helpful. Like I say, a slightly harder one today, and I must emphasise, you've got to use that fleshy part of your palm, and it is, putting your hand on the strings a split second before you strum the strings, okay? But I hope I made that clear in the video, and it takes a little bit of practice, this one, but it's really, really effective when you use it on some songs, and I have done a few songs which it works on. Like I say, probably one of the best ones is A Wonderful Life by Black, if you want to go over and check that out. So I hope that's been helpful to you. So until next time, there'll be another strumming pattern in the series. I will catch you then. Take care.